Do you have, and this is a personal question, do you have problems going to the doctor? Do you have like questions that doctors ask
Bias.
that bias that just approach you differently?
Not personally,
Yeah.
because I have in the past,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a fantastic GP. He's been
Okay.
my GP for maybe 5 years. But I'm also a nurse.
Yeah.
I'm a
Okay.
registered nurse, so I know how to advocate for myself, and I know
Yeah.
enough science and enough medicine that if a doctor were to turn around to me for something that was not related to my health and say, well, you need to lose weight, then I can be like, no. And I have done because, on the odd occasion that my doctor's not available, I've seen different doctors at the clinic that I go to.
Yeah.
And they're always like, well, can I prescribe you some weight loss drugs while you're here?
Whoa.
Like, absolutely not. If you actually read in my history, I have anxiety. So most of those kind of drugs like increase your heart rate, but also like I had an eating disorder for a long time. So like you can't, that's not something that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But every time I bring up medical bias, because I have experienced it from both sides. So I've experienced it as a patient, but also I've experienced it as a nurse and watching doctors and other healthcare professionals
Just
that I
treat people
work with.
differently?
Yeah, treat people differently, but also I work in theatre and see people once they're asleep and then see doctors talk about patients differently.
Oh, wow.
And it doesn't happen a lot anymore, and I'm really grateful for that because you have people in the room that are willing to stand up for the patient, and that's part of my job as a nurse. But it still happens, and so people come into my DMs or they comment. Like some of my most viral TikToks have been about healthcare professionals and people like sharing their stories and being really vulnerable with that. And it's really sad that that still happens, but hopefully we're making some headway.